Hello, this is Azrael. Thank you for tuning in on my channel. I'm going to do a quick video which will help unlock the mysteries of the court cards and the tarot. Now, starting out, any card can represent a person, place, or thing. Any card. The Six of Pentacles can represent a person. Okay. However, court cards tend to lean more heavily on being an actual person. Again, this is not 100% all the time. You will know through your intuition the surrounding cards and follow-up questions. Follow-up questions are very important. So each card has multiple meanings. So when you know a certain answer to a question, it helps guide you in the right direction. So let's get started. These get their meanings based on their archetypical representation. A king, for example, is a ruler, a leader. They enforce laws, they make laws, they protect their kingdom, and they also get their meaning from the suit they belong to. So this would be cups, emotions. So this would be usually an older person, like in their 40s or older, that are in touch with their emotions. Always start out, unless the cards or your intuition say something negative, always start out with the positive affirmations. It seems less ominous to the reader, especially if they're new, right? To tarot cards, and they're scared of what they're going to hear. But so here we are, a ruler in touch with their emotions. Obviously, don't have to be a king. He could be a boss. It could be a father figure, but somebody that rules their sphere of influence. Usually, it could be an alpha male. I'm going to pause right here. Just because now, a lot of times, traditionally, it's the sex of the person is the sex on the card. The king represents a male. That's not always the case. Now, even though it has a female counterpart, everything I said about the king is true about the queen. Older woman ruling her sphere of influence with balanced emotions, or very, maybe intuitive because of, again, cups and the elements that give these meanings and their personalities. Sometimes in a reading, you might get a king, but it's not a male, it's talking about a female, and vice versa. Not all the time, but almost stereotypically. If this represents a woman, it's usually a strong, independent woman that might have stereotypical male aspects, like something really mundane or silly that you would never really in real life address as, well, that person must be because she talks real deep, or okay, silliness like that. Or I won't even say secondary, but stereotypical things that say, a man holds beer like this and chugs it. Blah, blah, blah. They might have some male overtones or female overtones, especially if this is a woman, she could be kind of gruff, kind of rough and tumble. Maybe she likes to get in physical fights. So stereotypical male, aggressive. Or maybe not even aggressive, but you guys get the point, okay? Doesn't mean that they're gay or transgender, but in some of my readings, I have gotten court cards. I got a court card from a man that's very effeminate and feminine, even though he's a man. So it manifested as a queen in his reading. Again, it doesn't mean that they're gay or anything, and it doesn't really matter, but just let you know that even though there's a male and a female, they can still represent the opposite sexes. All right. And usually you will understand that by asking further follow-up questions like, what is the role? Maybe it is a man taking on the role of both the father and mother, and vice versa. It doesn't have to be sexual, but it's probably a cultural hint that they're kind of falling into a kind of stereotype. Don't take stereotypes as absolutes either. Then you have the next in line, the knight. The knight. Now the knight is a protector, just like a king, but a different kind of protector. Usually, a king will maybe a father, a protective father who might be the king, might be the kind of father who will get his buddies to go find the guy that didn't bring his daughter home on time. The knight is more of a individual fighter. Okay, they don't take crap, but they're balanced with their emotions. They might even be fueled by their emotions. This might be the older brother or younger brother taking on an older responsibility and fighting for the honor of his sister. Somebody insults his sister, and he's like, "Fine, I'll defend her. I'll talk bad about my sister." And again, it could be a female, usually a little bit younger than they could be in their teens, or in their 20s to well, just like the king, 40s. Okay, and again, they have the predominant aspects of that they show in the situation. They might be an earth-based person; it'd be all materialistic. But in this specific question that the person asked, they could be only or predominantly displaying this specific aspect, water or emotions, whatever. Now the page. A page is a young individual. What a page really is technically a squire to the knight. So again, cups. This might represent a younger person. Now, just like this could be a younger person, this could also be an old person. This could be someone in their 40s acting like a young person. Okay, these are transmutable characteristics. They might start out as one thing, but could represent something else. So don't be too fixed, especially in tarot cards. Tarot cards are more like water. It's fluid. There's so many meanings to these cards. In order to be a good tarot reader, you obviously have to interpret these cards for their meanings based on the surrounding cards, based on the questions and the question asked. All these different lenses that you look through. So yes, this could be an older person, male or female. There could be a young at heart. Maybe this is the cool parents, or maybe this is or again, it could just be a teenager or a young adult. But again, emotions, how it's laid in the deck, which position it's in the deck. Obviously, if you're doing a certain full spread, certain positions mean certain things. That is another lens you interpret these cards from. Where did it land in the deck? Its surrounding cards, which help influence this card, and the questions. Now, the reason why I'm just doing one is because this is true for all of them. So, a king. I'll start with the king. King of Swords would be, swords represent air. Swords also are an intellect, so it's an older intellectual gentleman with the same characteristics. If I get enough requests, I will do one for each suit, but it follows the same line. A king could be a queen. A queen could be a young person acting older. You get the concept. It's the same thing for all the decks. However, in some of my readings, like I said, that these represent maybe embodied situations that look like they have a mind of their own, like it's like its own entity, like a bad habit or something. Or it could also tell you that you need to take on a specific role in a situation. Maybe you're too emotional, and you need to look at the situation through the earth element, more calm, more less emotional. okay, more sturdy or logical. Maybe you need to sit down and analyze the situation through the lens of, well, I don't like these cartoons and these musics and these movies that appear through the young folk, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you need to look at the situation through the eyes of somebody younger. Maybe your perspective, your age, your financial aspect in life, maybe this is getting in the way to understanding, which is one of the problems with why parents and children don't seem to understand each other when they become individuals, like a teenager. They're always at odds. They don't understand the fads. They don't understand the music. Maybe in order to understand the situation, you have to look through the lens of somebody older or somebody younger. Like I said, sometimes these don't represent a real person or an aspect or concept that can be interpreted as a person. And again, the King of Coins, protector, leader, all the roles of the king, but through the earth element, the earth aspect. Maybe it's one of these men that don't show their emotions. They're kind of like, yeah. Maybe it's one of those female leaders that don't show emotions. Okay? So you understand one, you basically can, with this understanding the concept of one suit, it really does explain all of the other suits from leader, older, the defender, middle age, maybe a leader. A knight can be a leader of an army. They almost all have the similar meanings through different lenses. Okay. Now, and of course, the female aspect and the young aspect. It's really that simple. I'll also add here real quick that the more you understand life, of course, the better you'll understand the tarot, because they're talking about aspects of life. Take that in consideration, that if you don't have a experience on a certain subject, even if it's minute, it'll help you understand better than if you don't understand anything. So pull from your own experiences. The universe, these are tools. These are tools that you're using to get information from your subconscious and the universe, where your subconscious gets its information. These are tools. Understand that the language of the tarot is generalized, so everybody can understand it. But in the end, the universe speaks to you how you understand it. There is a reason why ancient prophets did not write about bacteria and viruses. They didn't understand it, so they would associate it with things unseen. There is a reason why a tarot card might give you an emotional response, but not me, on a certain subject or a certain meditation, because you are having your own personal conversation with the universe. And if you're reading it for somebody else, these cards for somebody else, you're having it on behalf of them. At this point in time, when you're reading for them, you are the spokesperson of the universe. So you have to read fairly and as honest, because again, the person sitting there across the table don't know how maybe to even talk to the universe. That's why they're seeking somebody who could read cards. They're looking for some guidance. This is a very, very important role, and one that you must take with the utmost sincerity, because what you say may have some major effects on the person. If you say, oh yeah, this man, he's probably going to cheat on you, you might have just killed a relationship, even though it might say that in the cards. It's not set in stone. You might, you got to inform the person you're reading what to expect. These cards are oracles to help us, give us possible interpretations of the possible reality that is now or yet to be, and possible past. So don't be too rigid, be fluid. Every situation does not follow the same guidelines every single time. Each situation must be handled with its own merits. So if you have, a preconceived belief that, oh, well, no, this kind of person with this kind of outlook will always fail on this specific subject, which they might not. Don't let your personal prejudices either can muddle the language that the universe is trying to get across. Being honest with yourself will also make you a better tarot reader because you'll be honest with other people if you can be honest with yourself. Again, don't be afraid to have different and personal interpretations of the cards because again, this is a personal language with you to the universe. So you have the general meanings that everybody understands. You can go to any country and go like this, and they know you want something to drink. You might not know the language, but you know the symbolism. That's the key to the tarot. The other languages, that's the key to personal tarot, personal development. And you can use your strengths on that to help others. Tarot, that's one reason why tarot is so, it might be new on the scene compared to other forms of divination like runes or bellomancy or flipping coins. This is why it's so successful, because it has billions of different ways it could be interpreted. Therefore it's more fluid, it's more useful. This is why the staple of divination and modern occultism is the tarot. Learn it, it'll guide you, and it's just perfect. Thank you for watching, and my next videos on the tarot, we're going to go into the court cards, which confuse a lot of people, because to me, it can be kind of confusing too, even though I read, because I have a lot of hangups when I was learning that they have to mean this, they have to mean that. They're very fluid, and they have some traditional meanings, but a lot of times most of the traditional meanings do not apply, except for a handful of cards. To me, they take on different aspects of either the major arcana that they have the same number of, or they just completely change its total meaning through an elemental lens of the question, which again, that's a different video. I'll get into that later. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.